rallies. So I decided to take action. And currently I am one of 2 people running for the candidacy for the PPC party here in Kamloops. I'm going to be taking over Kathy McLeod's position. If you guys want to sign up at the back tent, there's an email list for that, and you can also become a PPC member. There will be a vote on June 27th via Zoom, and I will be part of that because I am going to go and make a flippin' difference in this country. I am sick and tired of the corruptness and the liars and the cheaters that are running our country. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to see this anymore. I'm a hardworking person. I'm just like all of you. I love my city. I love my community. And I will stand up for each and every one of you. I will make sure that our kids are safe. I will work with the provincial government to make sure that legislation gets changed so that our children are protected, so that our futures are protected, so that we have jobs, so that businesses don't get closed and people don't go bankrupt, because what is happening right now is absolutely disgusting. They say that there are essential workers. Well, I'm sorry. Everybody who has a job needs their job for essential income. Everyone is essential to our economy, and everyone is essential to their family. We cannot survive when people are taking our jobs away, when our small businesses are being closed. I know so many people right now that are hanging on by a thread. They've taken the government handouts. They're scared of what happens if they close and can't pay back the government. You know, because that 40 grand doesn't go very far. It's been a year and a half, and what the hell does 40 grand cover? Not much when you own a business. These people are losing their homes. They're losing everything that they have worked 20, 30, 40 years for. People have just started out, young people. They can't even survive. So we have to be the ones to fight for this. That is my goal. That is my goal. And I don't even care if I get elected or not. I will still do this every week, and I will find ways to beat the government, to beat the corruption. And I will pass it all on to you. I will pass every bit of information I get on to all of you. So we were supposed to have our lovely Beatrice Weir come speak, but she is unwell today. I'm very disappointed. She's such a lovely woman. So in place of her, we have the wonderful Julie Sanger. She is in the back helping out, but she's coming up to speak for us. Let's give her a big hand, everybody. This is Julie. And I just want to say once again, thank you guys so much for everybody being here this evening. This is awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, Marley. It's great to have people like her and, you know, someone else whose name I won't mention right now fighting for us, as well as all of you who are here standing up for what is right, because this is what's right, freedom, right? So I didn't have much time to prepare, and there's lots that I have to say, but I think I'd be preaching to the choir. So I think you guys are aware of most, if not all of it. But I did watch a 2-hour video from Dr. Tenpenny today, who I think she's incredible. She's really brave getting the word out on what is actually happening with this, the actual facts about what we need to know about the not vaccine. So I've recorded some little blurbs about her video, just to kind of share those with you. And I just wanted to also mention a couple things. I also found out today that there are actually 63 deaths on the VAERS website from children under 3 years of age, or children under 12, sorry, and 8 of children under 3 years of age. So it's in the States, but still it's happening. So just really get the word out about protecting the kids. I know you guys kind of all know that, but I was pretty shocked to hear that. So we just really need to, I don't know, don't shake the baby, shake the parents. I don't know.
Shake Pony
Another
Henry.
thing I learned was that in Ohio, ages 10 to 17, the #1 cause of death right now is suicide. So with a less than 1% infection rate with COVID. So it's pretty crappy what's happening to them. So I'm just gonna get my phone set up here. Little hard to juggle. So this is not conventional, but I'm sure that you would much rather hear from Dr. Tenpenny than me. So here we go.
Just like the flu, because garden variety coronaviruses, we've known about them for at least 60 years. There's 7 that infect humans, 4 that commonly infect humans every single year. And in fact, every single flu season, which in America would be in the fall, 20% of illness every single flu season is caused by one of those 4 common coronaviruses. They call it influenza-like illness, which means it looks just like the flu, but it's caused by some other bug other than influenza. 20% every year. So, if I was a vaccine manufacturer, I would think that was a pretty good place to try to develop a vaccine, right? Because of what they call burden of illness. They look across and go, well, 20% of the population gets sick with coronaviruses. Maybe we ought to have a vaccine for that. So they've been trying to develop a coronavirus vaccine since 2003. Ever since SARS in 2002, they started trying to develop a real coronavirus vaccine that would be like a flu shot that people would get every year. So they would inject these animals with coronavirus vaccine that they developed, and lo and behold, what would happen? The animals would get a really high antibody response. And the researchers would go, yeah, baby! That's what we're looking for, because we count everything in terms of the vaccine industry based on antibodies. Even though, and I want you to remember this, an antibody is not there to protect you. An antibody is a marker of contamination. Why is that? Because you can have a very high antibody response and contract the infection anyways. It doesn't protect you, even though the powers that be would like you to believe that it does. So in these studies, they injected these coronavirus vaccines, and the antibodies got these really high antibody responses. And they go, yeah, now let's see if it keeps them from getting sick. Hence the word effective. And another thing I want you to remember is that the word effective is not a synonym for protection. When we as general consumers hear safe and effective, well, safe is kind of like we think it's not going to kill anybody. And effective means it keeps you from getting sick. But in scientific research that has to do with vaccines, effective means I injected foreign matter into an animal, and the animal got an antibody response. It did what it's intended to do. But the antibody isn't there to protect you, because you can have high antibody levels, still contract the infection in all of them, including tetanus. So from now on, when you hear the word effective, I want you to think that's a scientific term that means that junk created an antibody. Effective doesn't mean keeps me from getting sick. They're not synonyms. So when they did these studies in these animals with the coronavirus, they got this high antibody response. They said, well, let's see if it keeps them from getting sick. And then they exposed these animals to garden variety coronavirus, and they all died by something called antibody-dependent enhancement, which we'll talk about a little bit. Judy alluded to it. We're going to talk about the details of that in a few more minutes. And there's a paper that came out in 2012 and another one in 2019. At the end of the paper, they said, we have tried this in multiple different mammals. We tried it in mice, in rats, in guinea pigs, in hamsters, in ferrets, and in monkeys. And the way it's written, it's like a double negative. It says, we have not found a mammal for which this has not occurred. Interpreted meaning it happens in every mammal. That when you get this high antibody response,